I'm going head to head with a crypto whale to see if I, a little fish, can out-trade his portfolio over the next 2 weeks. So let's take a look at what we're up against. I just found this whale on a random tracking site. And the cool thing about crypto is you can find a wallet and you can see exactly what they're doing on chain. You can see exactly their trades. And so that's what we're going to be doing because I have no idea who this actually is. I just found this wallet and you can see he has over $4 million. So this is a big whale. He has experience. Compare that to me. I have $290. This is my portfolio that I'm doing as a challenge on my channel to grow this small portfolio. And so, of course, we're not going to be comparing, I'm not going to get $4 million on this account over the next 2 weeks. What we're comparing is who gets the most gains. Can I get bigger gains than him over this 2 weeks, even though he has a lot more money? And so this is the point in time, $4,888,000. This number right here, we are going to be comparing to our $290 and which one is going to grow more over the next 2 weeks. So let's see what we can learn by looking at his wallet, looking at his portfolio to kind of figure out what strategy we should have to try to beat him. So his all-time profit is $2 million. So he is very profitable. He's done 258% in gains. But if we look at his last 30 days, he's been struggling the last 30 days. He's lost 37%. And if we go over here, we can see his biggest drawdown is 77%. So this is an extremely profitable whale, but he does lose sometimes. And so there is a chance we can beat him. Even though he is very profitable, he knows what he's doing. He does have times where he's not doing well, and he is a swing trader. So I think, there is a chance that I can beat this guy, even though he seems to know what he's doing. If you can see at the bottom here, he is short hype right now. He has 3x leverage, short hype. Sadly, though, he took an entry at $38 and he's losing almost like $500,000. Here we can see some of his previous trades. And you can kind of see the duration, which is cool as well. He's done some longs on Pump, Silver, Pepe. He's only held these for like 3 hours, 4 hours. So he might be doing some like intraday trading that he could potentially make some money on, or you can see he has lost money on these. So he's not, he's not perfect, that's for sure. So for my strategy, I think what I'm going to do is potentially look for some longs on Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is kind of coming into this region where I think a long could actually make sense. We're hitting some support here, but at the same time, I think it might make sense to also short hype because it just went on this huge run, or short something like Lit, because it also went on a similar run. It's kind of a similar coin. It's a perp deck similar to Hype. It's already starting to kind of reject a little bit. I'm kind of wishing I had gotten a short here earlier. But if I short something like this, it would kind of give me a similar kind of trade as what our whale has going on. And I do that along with having a leg to go long on the Bitcoin side. Maybe that would kind of protect me a little bit to where I could outperform our whale. Well, let's jump into our first trade. Over the last couple of days, I kind of missed this topping structure that I was looking to short, but I kind of already missed it. And then we came down into a pretty good support that I was thinking, in a short time frame could make sense to do a long. And I already missed the first part of this, as you can see on the chart here that I was reviewing. And so now I'm just waiting for it to kind of drop back down into that orange line for another chance to kind of go long and see if I can kind of jump on this little bit correction here. How we go, but I could see us maybe going up here towards this resistance, the 79K. We just hit the level. I just ran to my computer because we hit this alert here and we trended up. I'd kind of missed it. I thought I really missed it. And then boom, we just went down really fast here. So I think, see, those are those alerts. I think I'm gonna buy a little bit here because we're kind of already missing it. So so I bought 1K, then a little later added $500 to my position, and I put my stop loss below a good support, and then just kind of waited it out to see what would happen. I came back after my indoor soccer game. That's why I'm wearing the bright orange short. And as you can see, I found that I did get stopped out. Sadly, lost $7. Okay, I was just checking, and our whale has had some action. He's added a couple new positions, so he's now short the SP 500, $1 million in value, and he is long oil $588,000. So if I look at the oil chart, this is futures, so this is closed over the weekend, which is the weekend right now. And so he thinks it's going to go up. If we look at the SP 500, I guess he's thinking maybe we've topped out here. He's also potentially, I just saw there was some Twitter announcement stuff that Trump was doing around the Iran war. So this probably has something to do with that, like where he thinks is going. This means he's probably thinks that the war is going to continue or something like that. And he's already made at least a little bit of gains. He's up about, I think last time I looked at this, he was at 88,000. So I think his account has gained about $20,000. So he's made some money while I have lost some money. So that's not good. At this time, Bitcoin started to puke, and so I was looking for a long. Already up 0.6% in the last 15 minutes. If I would have gotten that long, that would have been perfect right there. So I think I missed that. I guess need to wait for it to actually go below here, and maybe that takes a few more hours. It could happen today, maybe. So I need to have an eye on the lookout because we could hit into more of this area here before we go long. But I'm kind of looking to do a swing long because I think we're really hitting into, this is a big support, all those things coming together that I could see is kind of bouncing up, probably maybe to the highs of the rally, but it could just be a lower high around here, which would still be a great little swing trade. Oh boy. Okay, you can see this just happened in the last minute on Bitcoin. We just had a huge candle down. Okay, so this is where we're looking for the long. We just wiped out a lot of liquidity down here. I think there's almost $1 billion worth of liquidity that we're starting to get into here. So the question is, when do we jump in? I waited around 5 more minutes until the price had gone down a little bit more, and then I jumped into the long. Instead of adding more to this long here on Bitcoin, I'm actually thinking maybe now's a good time to short lit because it's having a tiny bit of a bounce here as it kind of jumped into here. And if I short this, it kind of protects me. It's a little bit of a hedge because I bet if Bitcoin continues to dump, lighter will also dump even more so. And so I shorted lit, also thinking that lit is a very similar token to hype. And so if hype goes down, which our whale is already shorting, we can kind of follow him with this lit trade. But lit has, it's a little bit more volatile. So if hype goes down, lit will probably go down even more because it's a smaller token. And that was kind of my thinking, my strategy. Even though I was a little bit nervous as I was looking at my Bitcoin long along with my lit short, and then just kind of having to leave the charts, hoping that this would play out with how I was thinking. Then I woke up the next morning to see this. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Ugh. That's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. So you can see we bought around here, and then the price just absolutely went down to our stop loss down here. Right down here was our stop loss. Hit us out, and then we've bounced back almost to the same price that we bought in at. So we lost $25. That is our worst. That is our biggest loss on No 250 yet in this account. Ugh. Our whale has made lots of trades. It's made some progress. We have not made much progress. In fact, we've lost money. We're down to 261. Our 251 actually. Our lit short has not done well, but I'm still holding on it. I think it has a chance. But I think we might be ready for a Bitcoin long here because we kind of missed this big nosedive here. But we're back up to the strong area and we're just potentially bouncing off that. I'm kind of waiting to see what happens. But this line is kind of a good support here because this is the top of the range that we kind of this is the top of this range and then the bottom of kind of this newer range. And so we did go below here previously, but I think this is a good place to go long, kind of foreseeing that we kind of bounce around these areas. We're probably going to stay around here for a little while. So anyways, I kind of want to get long because I think this, the fact that we went all the way down here and bounced up kind of shows me that we're going to stay up here a little longer, I think. before eventually diving down into this lower range that we were in like a month or so ago. I watched the chart for about 20 minutes, and then we did get our new long position on Bitcoin. Oh, I like that candle. I like that candle. That's a good candle. Ooh, that's a huge candle. Oh, that candle just keeps getting bigger. Oh, that candle. Yes, that's what I like to see. Got a little coffee as well. Wow, we got it. Maybe we did it. Oh, what are you? What is this candle? What is this? I got a nice entry, but it didn't end up exactly how I was hoping. So there's definitely been some funny business going on this trade. You just see that we've been just whacking around here. So we got in right here. We hit our first sold 20% right here. So that was a pretty good. And then we went a little higher, bounced down, went a lot higher here. Well, not a lot higher, but I wish I would have sold more here, because I feel like I should have known that we would just be kind of bouncing around here in this range and not much going on. And we kind of had a good entry here, but we finally just came down and jumped down below this. And so now we're hitting some liquidity here, bouncing back up, and I'm considering maybe just go long again. But we ended up making, because we went below our stop loss, we ended up making $1 on this trade. We could have made like $20 if we would have sold around this area. So hindsight, I wish I would have sold a little bit more, but it is what it is. You can start to see that I'm really kind of struggling in this video. I made another long and had another loss, and this was a bigger loss as well. This is actually a little Noah 250 portfolio tracker. You can go see it at bilbo.fund/Noah 250. I'll put a link in the description, but this is a little tool I made to track our account so that you guys just throughout anytime you can see what I'm doing. It's cool because all these trades are on chain, so they're all transparent. But this last trade, you can see lost $19. So that is unfortunate. All right, guys, it is the halfway point. It has been 1 week, and our lit short has been stopped out almost at break even. We can see we bought back here. We originally sold. We held through some downtime and then had a little bit of a profit, and I just was like, all right, we're going to go break even in case it doesn't keep going down. But it's a good thing we got out, because look, it is pumping right now. And so it's a good thing we got out. We only end up losing, if we look here, we end up losing 50 cents basically. So 50 cents. But we are down on the week. We started with 290. We're now down to 249. So that is a loss of 14% in a week. So not great, not great. And if we measure that to the whale, he gained 2% this last week. So he is in the lead, but I think we can come back. We have a week to come back and make this happen. The reason the whale has been doing so good is he actually has a spot holding of hype. And he's got 41% of his spot is in hype, which is a good amount. And hype has been on a tear recently. It's almost at all-time highs as we speak. And so, he's been holding through this week. It's been up like 20% in this last week. And so that's why he's doing well. But I think we can come back. I didn't even notice when I was looking at this whale wallet, a lot of 90% of his holdings is in spot, not in perps. And he's actually been, if we look at his perps, he's actually down on the week on his perps. So in some ways we were kind of fine if we're just comparing to perps, but it's because he has that spot holding of hype. But I still think we can beat him. I need to make some good trades here on the Noah 250 portfolio, make a couple good trades, and we can be back in this. We got to do it. We got to do it. Bitcoin is in the process of absolutely dumping, and I don't have any position on right now. But, after you get a huge dump like this, once you start to see some support, usually, it's a good potential place, risk reward to make a long entry. And it seemed like it was going to be a good risk reward. I was up to $12 on the trade, and then it came back down, crashing into my stop loss, and I lost again. Bitcoin keeps tumbling down, and I keep on trying to catch the knife because it seems like the risk reward is there. It keeps crashing. I feel like there's got to be a bounce at some point, right? But I think we're at a point here where we could get a bounce. You'll see there's a tick down here. Like this is like the start of this huge rally. We are back down to there. And so if we're going to have a bounce, I think this is a possible spot. Otherwise, we're going like straight to 60K. And it's right at 65K, which is kind of like a nice number where I think a lot of people would potentially be eyeing. And so we just went past that point. And so this is where potentially a long makes sense. I got another entry long, but it's not the best entry. I add more size, and then eventually I put my stop loss below the lowest wick and just kind of hope that we don't come back down and hit that. I think I have a decent spot, but then I gotta just walk away. Oh man, this has been ruthless. We bought in right here on the bounce up, it goes a little higher, then starts to bleed down, and boom, we go below our stop loss once more. This has been ruthless. Let's just go to the analytics and see how we're doing. We're down to $216. And look at this. We just lost $15 on that one that we tried to do. Down 17% on that. That hurts. That's kind of a bigger loss. And then we tried to long multiple times. $9, $6. This one was 50 cents. So we kind of broke even on that one. So that's good. But yeah, I've tried this. Let's zoom back here. You can see buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. I've just keep getting smacked out here as we try to pull the bottom. And at some point, and maybe that's it. Maybe now is the bottom. Who knows? It seems like it's just going to keep bleeding though. Bitcoin is just dying here. And so I'm probably going to miss. I think there's got to be at some point, maybe it's down here, 62,000. You never know. This is the problem. It's hard to know. And I was going off of some liquidity in this bottom here, thinking this could be it. But it could go down here, and then we bounce up and go to these areas, which would be a great long. But this is the pain. This is the pain to get that long, and it's like, I don't know if I can do it again. I don't know if I can try it again because we keep losing this here. Our portfolio is losing a little bit, and we only got $216 now. We're down $33 overall in this challenge. And it's hard to compete with the whales. This whale might just beat me here. Oof. All right, here's the moment. Finally, we have finished the competition. It has been 2 weeks, and sadly, the last couple of days, I really didn't get a chance to make a good trade. I was looking for opportunities, but really didn't find anything good, and I was already kind of on a losing streak, and so I thought, probably just stick with where we're at. So this is where we ended. $216. That hurts because we started this 2 weeks ago at $290, which means I've lost 25%. That is the worst I've performed on this No 250 challenge thus far. And I don't know why, maybe it's because I'm trying to compare myself to this whale and trying to beat this whale. So maybe I'm taking bad trades because of that. And I know I had a timeline, but you can see my last trades here. I kept on trying to long Bitcoin and just kept losing. And of course, this is happening in a bear market where I do think we're in a bear market, but I was trying to get the upside on a little tiny rally or something and get a reversal, and it just was not working for me. And so, yeah, we lost about 25%. So here's the moment where now we see what did our whale do. So our whale started out with $4,081,000 around there, and he finished with $4,940,000. So he crushed us. He destroyed us, and he made a lot of money along the way. So he made a 21% gain in the last 2 weeks. Which is pretty interesting, but what we can see here is that he has a lot of spot holdings. And I didn't really think about this when I was thinking about this competition, that in a little bit that's not that it's not fair, but it's like he's holding on to some tokens that it's not trading as much. So he's been holding on to hype. He's got a good amount of hype. He's got like 1.3 million of hype. He's got some other things, and really hype is where he's done well, because look, hype has gone pretty parabolic after the last 2 weeks, 27% gain, and it has started to come back down. but he's gotten a great gain out of that. And you can kind of even see, like, this chart here is showing his perps. Over the last week, he has done decently well on his trading, but he's kind of flat over the last 2 weeks. Where if we go combined, you can see that's where he jumped ahead with his hype holding, basically. He did have some good trades. Let's see some of his trades here. You can see he had a couple $1,000 wins here, multiple, like these are all trades over the last 2 weeks. So he was actually trading a decent amount as well. And I think I saw one, he shorted Zek, and I think he made like $40,000 on that, which if we look at Zek here, this is what he shorted and made a really good trade because Zek just like fell really far, like 40% in one day, and he caught that. So that was pretty impressive. So we lost this one. We lost, but there's definitely a lot of things to learn from this. And I really got to get back on my game because in the next episode of No 250, we're going to try to get our portfolio back up into the green over 250. So let's see if we can do it. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in another one. And that next episode might be showing up on screen right now if it's already available.